Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. Here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. Yeah, of course, I just laugh. I don't know why I laugh. All right, something came to me last night. So I do meditate quite a lot now. I always was pretty good at it, and there for a while I slacked off a little bit and realized, woo-woo, hey, gotta get back into it, and so should you. You can make the time. I'm going to tell you right now, the key is to always sit up when you're meditating, because if you're doing it in bed, you're not really connecting to that meditation. So if that's the only time you can do it, make sure you sit up. I know, it's like, ugh, I don't want to sit up, I'm tired. But if you do, you have a better chance of staying awake and actually going into that meditation instead of just, having a great sleep. So take the time. Now, I'm actually meditating, I'm not kidding about this, 2 to 4 hours a day. Yeah, how am I doing that? Well, I meditate about 45 minutes to an hour sometime during the daytime. And then I do meditation at night. And then if I wake up, I do another meditation, sometimes 2. I know. It's like if I'm waking up during the night, I realize that as I shared with you, and I'll have a video up here if it's not up here already on the transition and the physical changes that are taking place in us as the frequency increases and on the planet and within yourself. You may notice you have really sporadic or erratic sleeping patterns. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, some of you may be going through menopause or something like that. I don't know how that works because I never had that stuff going on, those issues, thank goodness. But I've noticed that I don't need as much sleep, and I need it in like spurts, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I could actually be up for 2 hours and feel great, and then I'll lay down and sleep another couple hours, and sometimes take a nap during the day. I can do that because I work for myself, because I am an internet entrepreneur. You're going to see that come out. You can check that out if you want. I get to work at home. So why am I mentioning this? It's so important to connect to the one. To the one. That is what you are. If you're not connecting to that, that's where all answers are. That's where there's nothing inhibited by the ego. So the more you connect to that, the less you are connecting to the density, the limitations, the thinking, the BS, the beliefs. Mom and dad told me, to work hard and I'm not worth anything, and all this junk that is just not real, that continues to play in your head, by the way, even though it's gone. It's gone. Continues to play in the head. Give it up. But how do you? That's tough. This is what we struggle with. Wow, I thought I was doing so well, and all of a sudden this chatters in my head. So when you practice meditation, that will start to clear out, clear out, clear out. Now, you can do guided meditations. I have one. I'm going to start releasing more. I know I told you guys I'd be releasing one a week. I'm sorry I haven't been on that, but I will be doing that now. Which, sometimes it's easier for you if somebody's talking to you. So I'm actually doing quite a few of those because I want to focus on certain areas of my life. So guided meditation, 2 that I do that I think are very effective. You have to find what works for you. I'm not a binaural beats person. I don't get it. It's just this annoying sound to me. Most of those frequencies aren't even the correct frequencies. How can they be? They're coming over on YouTube. I'm sure they're not all being, perfected, unless you get a CD or something. But Joe Dispenza, I'm always talking about Joe. He works for me because I'm a real science-oriented person. I watch everything about science on television, right? I can't get enough. That's what I'm going to talk to you today about, is what we're trying to achieve, what we're doing here, and how does this all fit in, and how do you connect through meditation. Another guy is Joe Tracy, and I think it's spelled T-R-E-A-C-Y. It's spelled a little bit different. Joe Tracy, he is a hypnotist. Now, hypnotism isn't what it used to be. You're fully aware, you're never doing anything you don't want to, but he has a very soothing voice, and he helps you to clear out the thinking, and he has you focus on his voice and the music. Awesome ones. You can get one is like you know, an hour and a half long. Some are like only 30 minutes. So you can pick one. Maybe you want to clear out negativity. Maybe you want to connect to your spirit guides. He has quite a few different ones. I'm gonna offer those too, because we all, like I said, have different meditation practices, and I'll make it available. All right, so put all that aside. You have to connect to this collective consciousness of where all answers are. All manifesting takes place all the time. It's happening. It's not like something you order. I know a lot of people come to me and they say, how can I get this done? I'm like, you're doing it right now. If it's not coming, then you're just not focused on it. Either you don't know what you want, or you don't believe it, or you're not doing anything to make it happen. Maybe you got all this stuff showing up, you're just not doing anything. You should look for signs. Last night, I actually was thinking about this, and then all of a sudden, I'm on my way home, and an owl, I saw something fly across my car. It was 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't really think much about it, and I thought, no, I'm going to look. And I stopped at the stop sign, and I looked up, and here was this beautiful owl looking down at me. And I thought, we can dismiss a lot of this stuff and say, well, it's an owl. We have owls here. I can't tell you last time I saw an owl. Years. I haven't seen an owl in years. And I was thinking about an owl and asking for a sign, and this owl flies in front of my car. I'm going to take that as my sign. So be aware, start taking the action, do the meditation, but what is it you are and what is it you're connecting to? I'm going to get scientific on you in my spiritual way. I got this last night, and I'm sure this is nothing new, but I thought, how do I explain? And the reason this came up is I saw I was watching my friend Kevin Moore's talk show, and he was interviewing a lady who had a near-death experience, and she explained how she was connecting to the other world and how fabulous it was. I've been there before, where you connect to, you have all the answers, and no words can describe it. I couldn't sit here and tell you it. Love is beyond the word. It's just way beyond that. So she went there. She was in that place. So I know she wasn't making this up. And she went to this golden place, and a voice, booming voice, said, it's not your time. You have to go back. Oh, we've heard that 100 times, right? These people aren't making it up. So what is that? If we are one energy, and we're going into this meditation, we're trying to connect to this, we're manifesting all the time because we are part of that one energy, and we're just getting in our own way, which is why we suffer so much. But what is all that? And how can there be one energy if there's a voice telling you have to go back? I thought about this last night. I thought, wait a minute. How do I explain to other people that we're one energy if there's and we have full choice? How do I explain that people are going over on the other side and there's a voice, obviously the one? Maybe it's not the highest one. Maybe it's not the source. Maybe it's part of the source, because it's all part of the source, right? You're part of the source. That decides you need to go back and really pushes you back. She fell back to earth. She would not have gone on her own free will. What is that? We're individuals, right? Are we not one? You would think that. You'd think, wait a minute, Landria. There's a separate thing controlling things. I don't have free will. That is happening. Yes, you do. So here's how it works. You are part of that. It is you. You, it, the one, all decided to have experiences. So when you decided, as part of the one, part of that other realm where you're not in this physical body, you made a decision to come here to accomplish certain things. So you do have free will. That was it. You already made it. So you can't break that. So you're supposed to come back and do certain things because you decided you were going to accomplish certain things, and for you to go back at that point, some people do get the choice. They've accomplished enough and they don't have to stay here. But they knew in advance what they needed to do. So if that person has not accomplished their goals and they are allowed to come back, even though they had all agreed in advance, these are things I need to break through. I want to break through them. I'm not going to leave that planet until I accomplish those goals, because this is the master learning place. If you want to really rev up your vibration, accomplish all your goals here. Man, it's like accelerated, because it's difficult. It's really difficult. I want you to think of it that way. So you come here and let's say you agree, I have to break through fear, or I have to break through, I have to completely master forgiveness. So I'm going to come into this situation where my parents are real jackasses. They're going to do some nasty stuff. And they agreed to do certain things and learn from that. It's not like, oh, you can thank me for, beating you up or, mentally abusing you. No, that's not it. They agreed to take that role to help you because you want it, you need it. And in turn, they're learning from it and maybe they need to break through that. Let's put me in a densest body, make me a jackass, and then I'm going to have to break through it. I'm going to have to elevate my energy. Let's take me to the lowest energy and let me break through it. And maybe, who knows what that is, an accumulation of things in the past that you haven't accomplished. So you have to go in there and really get that lesson. That's how it's all working. It's just us working through lessons. So if you went on the other side, of which you are one, and you came here to accomplish certain things, you didn't do it, and you were allowed to go back, because when you're over there on a near-death experience, you don't really know. You don't at that point always understand what you were supposed to do here. So if you died, you'd go over, you'd get all that information, and then you'd go, oh, shoot. Now I'm going to have to go back because, yes, I should have stayed there longer. I needed to break through this. So that's all that is. It's the oneness of what you are that you wanted to experience. So because you're still in that density in between life and death, you are absolutely not conscious still of what that mission was or what you were supposed to accomplish. So you come back and you go, I don't know why I'm here. That's the whole thing. You don't have it. If you had all the answers, it'd be like, oh, this is easy. I got all the answers. I know what the ending is. No, it's that challenge. It's that journey. All right, so I wanted to clear that up because I want you to understand there is no separation in energy. There is separation in choices. And that's not really separate. It's not even right to even say that because it's still one making all of those choices. I know, it's crazy. So I made a little illustration for you. I am an artist, by the way. I do everything, right? Geez, I need to do my nails, though. All right, so here is everything. Here's everything. Everything is matter, made up of particles and nothingness. In fact, it's so beyond particles. But we're going to use these as particles. So here's the lower density. Everything is energy. Can you see this? Everything is energy. Energy is just everywhere. This is us. This is God. This is us. These are our masters. This is the universe. This is the multi-universes. This is everything. Everything. Everything's here. All of us. Everything created. An insect. Us. I put us below the insects. We're down here. All right, so we're matter. So I want you to think of this because this is a little mind-blowing when you go into meditation. If you're this, if we pulled back and looked at our bodies in a really vast view, we'd be all particles. That's all you'd see. There's so much space in this body that we are particles, and everything else is a particle. It's just forming because of quantum physics. We're focusing on, we created this. On that other side, we agreed, we created this body. We created this more dense molecular structure so that we could inhabit it. So that's us. So we're more dense. So there's these particles that are a little bit more dense, still particles. It's still part of all of this. See, do you see that? It's still part of all of this, the one. It's just a little bit more density of the particles. When you go into meditative state, you can advance yourself to a higher frequency. And the higher frequency is, maybe you're a little bit more expansive. So you're reaching out a little further into this. You're not as dense, right? You're not as dense. And then when you elevate yourself, you're not really particles anymore. You're light. Let's say you're a light being. And you're just blending into other light beings. And you're all communicating. You don't even have to speak anymore. You're out there. You don't even have a body. And of course, this is like the masters, the super, super elevated frequencies. And then, of course, this is the one. If you notice, I don't have circles around them. They're all massive. They are everywhere at everything, doing everything, connected to everything. Right? And this all extends out. This all extends out. But we're down here. We're particles, and we're dense particles. There's a human. There's a human. But we're all still sharing all of this. All right? Does this make sense to you? So when you go in a meditative state, you're more like, well, not up there, but your particles are expanding. That density expands, and then you start to elevate your energy and you expand into these higher frequencies. So you become less dense, and you're actually expanding into this. Well, all of this is, and of course there's no circle because nothing's enclosed. All of this is 100% all information, all love, all choice, everything. Even choices that are on a low frequency, which some people call evil or whatever. I don't even like to say the word. That's all made up. That's just a choice. That's like a block down here. All right, we got to draw that one. These are the nasty things that you're afraid of. You're up here. It's down here. Like, you know what these are? These would be like really nasty people in their lifetime who died before they worked things out, and they may be stuck here. They'll eventually start to expand and expand and expand. Then they may go back up here, come back to a planet or someplace, and then they'll be like, they may be much more dense than us, Maybe they're a little bit like this. And then maybe they become good people and they elevate and they expand a little bit and then eventually come. So do you see how this is working? When you go into a meditative state, you're connecting to all of this. So all information is here. All information is here. You could actually connect to up here. Because when you expand those molecules, that density of your body, through meditation, you're disconnecting to this dense body and you're connecting to this real you that is part of the one that's all just the particles that are all shared. All of this is shared. You're sharing all that too. You're part of that. You're just not vibrating on that frequency. You're vibrating on a lower frequency. Because we are one thing. So again, I don't want you to think like, oh, well, how can I share it? Because that's a master and that's an individual. No, the masters are part of the one energy too. What does that mean? You can meditate and access anything you want. I want you to understand how important. That's why I'm always pushing meditation. You can access stuff that will blow your mind. And if you keep at it and use whatever meditation, person, practice, YouTube video, CD, whatever you need to do, you keep doing it and connecting to that collective. And because the more you do that and the more you let go of the ego and the thinking and all this stuff and you start to pull away from that, you will expand to the higher frequencies and your energy will expand into that and out and higher. It's going to vibrate higher, which means it's losing density. It's just all, that it opens up and there's light up there. It gets lighter as you go up, right? You know that, right? Look at this ultimate light up here. It's not even light. It's not even, you can't say it's a color. It's not even white because it's so brilliant. And this is black because it's dense. It's just dense. So everything starts to expand. That's all it is, one energy. So all of these things that sound like we're individuals aren't really, we're just experiencing things. So we made those choices and we decided to, as individuals, a part of the one, do these things. That means you get to create whatever you want. Now, it's funny, this NDE person, this near-death experience video that I saw, she said one thing that I thought was very odd. She didn't think that, and I think it's because she was told to come back, she didn't think that she necessarily had choice to change things in this lifetime. That is really, I'm sorry, I usually don't use this word, that's wrong. That's wrong. We have 100% choice. We get to choose poverty. We get to choose wealth. We get to choose illness. We get to choose health. And sometimes we start in one of those to move into something else, to experience it out, in some other, situation. And we continue to move in and out of all that. So you're constantly manifesting, but the more you release yourself through meditation, connect to that one that you are, you're going to access all the things that will change your life. So if you're thinking you need to ask somebody or ask something to do it, they're not going to do it. It's like you have the ruby slippers on. Click, click, click. You could have gone home any time, and you keep thinking somebody else is going to give you something that's going to change your life. The broomstick, right? Did you watch The Wizard of Oz? That's so symbolic. You all have the power. You've got to connect to it. This is not who you are. You're looking at particles that are, there's more space in us than density, right? There's more space than molecule. Fact. You're space. So we're so hung up on what we see, this material world, but the number in my bank account. And you think that's how things are when everything could change. Your reality could change. You're here to experience that, change things, learn, not just to get the stuff. You've got to be experiencing things along the way. How important is money? Is that going to fix me, or am I really looking for something else? Am I really looking to just be happy and independent? Money will come with that. Money will flow, but when you're focused on that material world, got to have that money. And somebody said, isn't it limiting to name a number? Yeah, it is. It is. You're right, by the way. The reason I had you do that in a meditation is because people are so all over the board. They don't know what they want. They go, oh, I want abundance. What does that mean? In what areas? Everything? Okay, that's cool, but what does that mean? I mean, abundance, Ferrari, or abundance, you got a bicycle. You have to state it because, and it's not the universe doesn't know it. It's just that you're not choosing it. So if you say abundance, and I asked you, so a lot of people go, well, I don't know. No, really, give me a number. Oh, 10,000. Really, that's abundance? That's not abundance to me. That's not abundance. That may be abundance to you. So that's why I have you name a number or more, or what's better for me, or what's best for me. So the universe understands, this is where you are. You're thinking 10,000. So you're stating exactly where you are in your expansion. You know what? I had to deal with that. I'm going to do a video right after this about what are you asking for. So when I say name certain things, I'm actually the person that doesn't like that because I think it does limit you. I want you to just really understand what it is you want and what you're asking for. Truly understand it. And make sure it feels right. And then when you go into that meditative state, you got to lose yourself, man. You've got to be the expansive nothingness that everything comes from. It's mind-blowing. You'll start to feel it. You're going to go, oh my God. You won't feel like a body anymore. It's really mind-blowing. It's wonderful. And then you'll know you're tapping into it. That's who you are. I know. Some of you may be in a state where you can't even imagine that. That's why you've got to practice. Nobody's going to, bing, God's going to come down and hand it to you. That's that separate thinking again. Nope. God, you've got it all. You can do it. You can do it. All right? So let's get out of here. Ghosts and evil stuff and conspiracy theories. Sorry, guys. I know some of you guys love that. That's okay. It can be fascinating. But you're focusing your time on that stuff. You're not getting answers. Nobody's going to give you the answer. You won't know for sure. Yeah, there are aliens. They're here. Get over it. All right? If they were, hey, by the way, if they were evil, they'd take us out, and it wouldn't be with a weapon. They'd just release something, and we'd all croak so that we wouldn't damage the rest of the earth that we're damaging. They're way beyond that. See, stop thinking like a human being. All right, so we're going to get out of here. I know most of you are probably in here somewhere, probably dropping down here into your little dense particles, and, right here. Some may be denser. Some of you may be going back to this where you're all ego, chatter, chatter, chatter. And then some of you might expand a little bit and maybe, life gets tough a little bit, so you go into here, you're, thinking a little bit, and then you go into meditation, you're going, oh, I'm more expansive, I'm more open, but still thinking like an individual. That's okay, but you're still expanding, and then this is like, whoa. I don't know, I think you might, who knows. I'm sure there are people like Buddha and Christ were up here. Sort of not even connected to this world, but having to. So, and then of course, then you go into, total expansion, light beings, going to the other side, not even needing a body, no density, having all the answers, but still doing things and learning and probably helping others. And then, of course, we've got, what is that, man? What is that? Yes, it's all love, it's all everything, it's everything. Where the heck did it come from? All right, we're not going to, I don't have those answers. I could sit and talk all day. We'll never get it. All right, meditate and go into that massive particle that you are. Expand it, go out. What you're doing is you're pushing that energy and that light. You can't see that. You can't see it. That's all part of the particle that's not visible to the human eye. Well, some of you see it. And you expand. And you're going out into it. All answers, all love. You're going to feel so much love when you go out in there. It's going to feel good. And if you feel anything less than that, you block it and you pull in light. Pull in light, because you have control over that too. And if anything else is getting in, it's coming from you. You're allowing that in because you've got some dark space in you that's connecting to it, and it's feeling like it can get in. Nope, can't override your free will. All right? Go meditate, man. I'm gonna start. There aren't enough. Oh, and I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say there aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done, but that's a limitation. I have plenty of time. I'm gonna get everything done. Your manifesting courses, your meditation courses, I'm working on them all. Hope that by the time you watch this in a very near future, it'll already be released, and I'm gonna help you get to that awesome place where you just have to think of something and it shows up. Wouldn't that be great? Sending you light, love, abundance, health, wealth, prosperity, and joy and peace. Namaste.